Alright fellas, we just saw the conclusion of the Madrimov Crawford Riyadh season card, and well, it definitely was an interesting watch. With these Saudi cards, as usual, they were stacked, and what resulted was a lot of upsets. And the main one I want to talk about is the Pitbull Cruz defeat at the hands of Jose Valenzuela. A fight which many overlooked and thought would be a walkover for Pitbull, but was anything but, resulting in an upset which will upset many proposed big fights. Let's talk about what happened in the fight and what's in the future for the both of them. So let's get right into it. Now most of you know about Pitbull, the WBA 140-pound champ known for his knockout power and entertaining style with signature wins over Rolly Romero and Gamboa, while also having a highly contested match with Tank Davis. Yet, who was his opponent? Well, Jose Valenzuela, also known as El Rayo, is a professional boxer known for his impressive power and skill in the ring. Valenzuela quickly established himself as a promising lightweight. His early career was marked by a series of victories, including notable knockouts against Christian Velez and Zach Kuhn, showcasing his power and skill. Valenzuela's signature wins include a stunning first-round knockout over former world champion Francisco Vargas in April of 2022. This victory, achieved with a single punch, solidified his reputation as a legitimate contender in that lightweight division. Despite a setback in September of 2022 where he suffered a knockout loss to Edwin De Los Santos, Valenzuela rebounded impressively. He avenged this win with a win against Chris Colbert in December of 2023, securing a 6-round knockout which demonstrated his resilience and determination. Valenzuela's consistent performances and ability to defeat high-caliber opponents earned him his shot against Pitbull Cruz. Now let's talk about the fight. In the opening seconds of the fight, Valenzuela tried to leverage his 7-inch reach advantage with jabs, but Cruz quickly closed that distance, landing powerful shots. Despite Cruz's small stature and crouching style, he backed Valenzuela into a corner by the second round, landing a barrage of punches. Valenzuela found his rhythm in that third round, effectively using his jab and landing significant uppercuts. By the fourth and fifth rounds, Valenzuela was frustrating Cruz, who was missing and getting hit. The fight became competitive in the sixth, with Valenzuela landing even more effective uppercuts. In those later rounds, Valenzuela displayed great ring generalship, managing to keep hold of the pace he had set previously, consistently landing shots and avoiding Cruz's punches. Cruz managed to land a few significant shots, including a left hook in the ninth and a straight right in the final round, but Valenzuela closed the fight strongly. The match was highly contested, with both fighters having their moments of success. I definitely thought Valenzuela won the match, and I think the 116-112 scorecard was probably about right, yet many of the rounds were very tough to score. El Rayo used his advantage as well. He used his height, reach and southpaw stance to his absolute advantage. He didn't fall under pressure and stayed calm throughout. This upset somewhat puts out the fire on Pitbull's march to become one of the biggest names in the sport. After the Rolly win, he was one of the most talked about names in the sport for a hot minute, yet this upset has now put him back down a step. Of course, the first thing Pitbull will be chasing is that rematch, which may happen if a bigger fight can't occur. Yet I do wonder if this is what Pitbull should really chase. Cruz in the fight didn't really have any answers to the problems that El Rayo was giving him and only had one game plan throughout. Chasing an immediate rematch could result in a very similar fight, with this first fight also giving Valenzuela the experience now to know how to defeat Cruz. Pitbull said that after the fight, this is exactly what he wants next, with no other name being mentioned. With him thinking he won the match, I wouldn't mind to see this fight again, and the Saudis would probably see this as an option. If Pitbull doesn't get the rematch, he could face other names within the division. With promotional ties not being that much of an issue once the Saudis are involved, you could see him fight against a title holder such as Liam Paro, or a duel between him and Matthias, who is also coming off a loss, and that would be a heavily marketable fight. I think the Tank rematch is now out of reach, and especially after losing to a relative no-name to the casual audience, this would rule out a chance of this fight happening. For El Rayo, of course that rematch is an option if the money makes sense. I'm not sure if there is a rematch clause, but if there isn't, there are a few fights I could see down the line. I think many of the options for Valenzuela will be the same for Cruz. I think fighters such as Prograis, Matthias, Ramirez, Sandor Martin could all be a chance. I think Teofimo Lopez is out of the picture for all of these fights, as in the past in Saudi negotiations he was simply asking for too much money, and if you're doing that they won't even consider you. Tank Davis could also be looking at El Rayo as a potential move up to what he may see as an easy 140-pound belt. If the names at 135 aren't going to fight him, that could be up next. I think another thing to know for Pitbull is he's still pretty young. At 26, this defeat isn't going to destroy his career. Will it put him back a step? Absolutely. Yet will it stop him from getting big name fights in the future? No way. He's pretty much an established name which people want to come out and see fight, and I don't see this stopping in the near future. While you're here, let's just quickly talk about what happened with the rest of the card. The David Morrell hype train came to a crashing stop, being taken to 12 against a bloke's name I don't want to stuff up. He was made to look human and beatable at the heavier weight, yet he managed to take home the win and the WBA World Light Heavyweight belt. But apparently it's only the regular one and the proper belt is still in the hands of Bivol. Truly, I don't even know. American prospect Jared Anderson got fraud checked and knocked out. Andy Ruiz pretty much got beat, but somehow it was declared a draw. Yet it's important to note Ruiz did break his hand during the fight, so that would have affected his performance. And of course the Crawford fight occurred. I might make a video on this later in the week, so make sure to subscribe for that. Yet in short, Majumdar boxed really well against Crawford, making Crawford look human for the first time in a long time, taking him the distance for the first time in years. I think Crawford did enough in those last 2 rounds to secure the 113-115 scorecard, yet it was a very hard fight to score. Yet now I want to hear your thoughts on the Pitbull fight, what's in his and El Rayo's future, and your thoughts on the card as a whole. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing, it really does help the channel a lot. Thanks for watching fellas, and I'll catch you in the next one.